everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Rachel. So today I thought it would be a great idea to just go ahead and make a shelf tour video of my K-pop collection. So I have two shelves. I have this big shelf right here that holds most of my albums, and then I also have this cube shelf over here that goes all the way down and holds all of those albums. So before we get into this, I've been collecting K-pop for about 3 years now. This video isn't meant to be a bragging video or anything. It's just fun, and it's a passion of mine, and I really love collecting albums and photo cards of my favorite groups, and K-pop music just brings me so much joy. And in this kind of dark and depressing time, I decided that what better way to maybe lighten people's moods than uploading a K-pop collection video. So just a quick little overview, I have 4 alt groups. Those groups are BTS, EXO, SHINee, and ACE. And then I also have a couple other groups that I collect and stan as well, but don't necessarily collect every single version of all of their albums. So let's just go ahead and get started. So my first shelf is where I hold all of my BTS Korean albums besides Map of the Soul 7, because those albums are ginormous. So just to start off, in the front here of my shelf, I have my 2 Army Bombs. I have the Map of the Soul Special Edition Army Bomb on the left, and I have it decked out with a bunch of Mang and Hobi accessories. Hobi is my second bias in BTS, and Taehyung is my first bias. So over there on the right, as you can see, I have the Army Bomb version 3 edition, and I just have a little Tata headband there, and I have the Hobi and Taehyung Funko Pops as well. And then also in the front there, I have the BTS Japanese single I Need You, and it's very pretty and very gorgeous, but it's also super reflective, so I'm gonna go ahead and move that right now. And then just right here, I have 2 little movie tickets that I keep on my shelf. Those were the movies that I was lucky enough to see in the theater when they were showing. So I have Bring the Soul and the Love Yourself World Tour movie ticket as well. Okay, so starting from left to right, they're pretty self-explanatory, but the first album I have is Too Cool for School, Oh Are You Late Too, School Love Affair. This is the special edition of School Love Affair. I have 2 versions of HYYH Part 1, and then 1 version of HYYH Part 2. I'm still missing the Peach version. I have Young Forever, both the day and the night versions. For Wings, I have versions I and G. I'm still missing W and N, but I'm hoping to get those someday soon, because I'm only missing 3 Korean albums currently for BTS, so I need to get going on that. As far as You Never Walk Alone, I have I believe this is the right version, the pink version right here. In another part of my room, I also have the left version. It's just on display. It's not on my shelf currently. Moving on to the Love Yourself era. So I have Love Yourself Her, all 4 versions, Tear, all 4 versions, and Answer, all 4 versions, as well as Persona, all 4 versions. And then at the end here, I just have some Japanese full-length Face Yourself albums. I don't remember which version is which. One is the CD and DVD version, and one is just the CD version with the photo book, I believe. And at the very end here on the right, I have the notes, and it's the English version. So then up top, I just have 2 headbands. So I have a Mang BT21 Baby headband, as well as Tata's regular headband. Okay, so for my second shelf, I have some more BTS things. They've kind of had to move down and be split into 2 shelves now, just because I have so many things for them. So over here on the left, I have all 4 versions of Map of the Soul 7, as well as the 5th muster and the 4th muster. I believe this is the regular DVD edition. And I have this little BTS tier standee. I'm just gonna move really quick. Back behind here, I have BTS's original soundtrack from their video game BTS World. Right there I have just a little Taeyoung postcard on display. That's from their Love Yourself, Speak Yourself Japan Edition DVD, Blu-ray DVD. In the back, you can't really see it, but I have two slogans, and these were just slogans I was given at the BTS concerts I attended. So the one on the top is from Rose Bowl Day 1, and the one at the bottom is from the Love Yourself tour in Fort Worth Day 1. So now moving on over here, this is just kind of where I've decided to display all of my concert DVDs. They take up a lot of room, so recently I decided to stack them like this, and I kind of am okay with how it looks. I'm not completely satisfied, but for now, as far as saving space, this is just kind of what I've decided to do. In the front here, I have the rest of my Japanese stuff for them. So I have, at the front here, I have BTS's Lights Japanese single, Boy With Love. And I have Taeyoung's little album cover right there. Next, I have Hobie's little album cover as well for this version of Lights, Boy With Love. And behind that, I have BTS's Japanese single, Fake Love Airplane Part 2 with Taeyoung's cover. I'm not quite sure all of the versions of all these, just because I know there's like 4 or 5 for each Japanese single. So just bear with me, but yeah, that's whatever this version is the one I have. And then I have the boxed set for BTS's Blood, Sweat, and Tears Japanese single. And so then this one comes with all 4 in the little pack here. So I think it's versions A, B, C, and D. But yeah, I have all 4 of those. Okay, and now moving on to my BTS DVDs collection. So at the top there, I have BTS's 2015 Live on Stage Epilogue, and then I have the Wings Tour regular DVD edition, the BTS World Tour Love Yourself, Speak Yourself Japan Edition Blu-ray, and then I have the Love Yourself DVDs Europe, New York, and Seoul there at the bottom. So that is my current DVD collection. Obviously I still need the Sao Paulo one, and a couple other DVDs I've been wanting to get, especially the Musters, the third Muster I would really like to get, and a couple other their older concert DVDs would be nice to have. But it's a work in progress. DVDs are very expensive, so this is just kind of, you know, a collection that will be slowly growing over time. Okay, so moving on to my third shelf is EXO, and they are my second old group. And so for EXO, I collect 3 members, Chen, Kai, and Chanyeol. So whenever EXO releases member-specific versions of albums, or at least they used to, I would usually get Chen, Kai, and Chanyeol if I could, but obviously Chen is the highest priority. So at the front here, you can see I have Chen's cover of CVX's Japanese mini album, Girls, and also their Coming Over Japanese single. I have Chen's cover for that as well. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and get into the rest of the albums on the shelf. Sorry for this very weird glare. It's kind of like cloudy outside, and so it's just making it show up really weirdly on camera. So for my EXO albums, I used to have this in chronological order, but that was kind of hard due to the size of the albums, and I was kind of running out of room unless I stacked them, and so by stacking them, this was the only way that I can make them all fit. So starting over here on the left, I have EXO's Sing For You album. So I have, let's see here, we have Chen's cover, and we also have Chen's other cover. I don't remember which one is the Chinese one and the Korean version, but I have both of them for Chen. And then for Kai, I believe this is the Chinese version. I could be wrong. As far as these, I'm kind of satisfied with the amount I have. I think if I were to get any more of these, I would at least want to get one of Chanyeol, just to have, you know, each of my top 3 biases, but you know, that's not a really high priority right now for me. So moving on to this stack right here, the album at the top is EXO CBX's second mini Blooming Days, and I believe this is the Days version. It's this cover, which I really liked this cover the best, so that's why I got this version. Moving on to EXO's album Exodus. These were the member versions albums. So I have Chen's Korean cover, Suho's Chinese cover, Chanyeol's Chinese cover, and Kai's Chinese cover. So as far as these albums go, once again, I'm pretty satisfied with the amount that I have. I think if I were to get any more, I would at least want to get Chen's other cover, and maybe a couple more of the members, just because these are, you know, such pretty albums, and I really do love the covers and everything, and it was just a solid album. I have their repackaged Love Me Right, and this is the Korean version. After that, I have Suho's first mini album, Self Portrait. Whatever version this is, I just liked it a lot because of the cover, so it was just very pretty. After that, I have EXO's album repackage, third album repackage Lotto, as well as Exact, the Lucky One version underneath it. This pink album right here is EXO SC's album What a Life, and this is the Sehun version. Underneath that, I have both versions of EXO Wolf, XOXO, both the Chinese and the Korean. Under that is their winter special album 2016, and then the repack The War, The Power of Music from Kpop era. So moving on, we have all three versions of The War, A, B, and the private version. We have EXO Love Shot, both the Love and Shot version. EXO's sixth album Obsession, both versions. Then we have, this is the only EXO concert DVD I own. This is like my last little stack of EXO albums. So at the top, I have three versions of EXO's Japanese album Countdown. So of course, as you have probably guessed, the three ones I have is Chen's cover, Chanyeol's cover, and Kai's cover. So I was lucky enough to get these as soon as they released. So even though they were expensive, they at least weren't as expensive if I was trying to get them from resellers. And then this little album right here is EXO's Coming Over, but this is the live venue CD, I believe, and this is Chen's version. So inside it's like a little fold out thing, and it's like Chen's picture in there. So they had member specific ones of even live editions of this of this song. So SM really loves member specific versions. So then after that, I have their second mini XOK. This is Overdose, XOK version. And then underneath that is EXO's Obsession. This was the, I think the Obsession version. And then underneath that, I have EXO Don't Mess Up My Tempo, all four versions, including the special version that has Lay on the cover. Because of course, being a OT9 EXO fan, I was excited to see that he was on the cover and with the rest of the boys again. Okay, so moving on to my next shelf. This holds my third alt shiny, my shiny collection. I don't have that much currently. I'm wanting to get more over time, but it's just been a collection that hasn't been top priority just because BTS releases so many things, and so just keeping up with them is basically a full-time job, let me tell you, or at least attempting to keep up with them. For shiny, what I have currently is Taemin's concert photo book. I believe it's his second concert photo book, so I have that over there. I have his first full-length Japanese album, Taemin, I believe it's self-titled, The Story of Light Epilogue album right there. Their first mini album, Replay, as well as Taemin's cover of Winter Wonderland. Okay, so moving on to the albums here, I have SHINee. This is their 101 album, and I decided to display it like this just because I really love the cover. Okay, so I apologize for the glare, but we're just gonna go through these quickly. So as far as jewel cases go for SHINee, I have Taemin's first Japanese full-length album, Taemin self-titled. This is the normal edition. I believe I forgot to mention over here, this is the Japanese fan club edition, this big blue box over here, but this is the normal edition. Behind that, I have SHINee's Your Number, Boys Meet You, as well as their Japanese single, Kimi no Saidai. So that's all of the Japanese singles I have. I'd like to get a couple more, Dazzling Girl. You know, I have some ones in mind that I would like to get eventually, but that's not a huge priority. And then back there, I just have a giant Taemin postcard that came with my fan club version of that Japanese full-length album. And then down here are just the rest of my SHINee albums. So I have Junghyun's Poet Artist, Taemin's repackage, of Move, and then SHINee's fifth mini album, Everybody, as well as Taemin's mini Want. And this is one of the versions. I know there's two for this one, and I need to get the other one soon. So yeah, as far as SHINee goes, it's kind of been a slow collection. I've kind of been collecting here or there as I can. Taemin, I would love to get all of his solo stuff, but I have a lot of catching up to do. And then of course, Junghyun, I would want to get all of his solo albums as well. So right here, I just have a Ace standee. This is from their first mini album, Adventures in Wonderland. So I'm just gonna move that real quick. Behind that, you can see I have one of the versions of NCT 127's Neozone with Taeil's cover. Well, not his cover, but it came with a set of postcards, and I really like Taeil's picture, so I just kind of slipped it in the front because it's a slipcover album. So it's really cute. I love it. I love looking at it. For NCT 127, my biases are Taeil and Jaehyun. So yeah. And then down here, I have some Super M albums. So I have their first mini, Super M, the group version down there. And then on top, I just have Taemin's cover. Eventually, I'd want to get Kai, just because he's my second bias, I guess you can say, in that super group. Literally super group. Almost everyone in that group I either bias or are my bias wrecker. I don't see myself getting all member versions. But yeah, like I said, I'd really want Kai's. So then behind Neozone here, I mentioned earlier that my fourth favorite group was Ace, and so I have their second mini here, Undercover. They only have one version. And then behind that, I have their third mini, Undercover, the Mad Squad. As far as Ace goes, they're very expensive and hard to collect, and a lot of their albums go out of print very, very quickly. So it's hard to, jump on the albums when they're actually available. My biases are WoW. Well, June is my first bias, with WoW being my bias wrecker. I have two Wavy albums. I have their Take Over the Moon second mini album and their sequel for Take Over the Moon special album. I pre-ordered their next mini that's already out. I'm just waiting for it to arrive in the mail. Just with everything going on, it's been kind of slow getting here. So I really want to get their first mini, Takeoff, but that album is kind of hard to find. So I'm just kind of bidding my time until I can find one for a decent price. And then moving over here, this is my very, very small Gulcha Golden Child collection. So I have their first album, Reboot, and then next to that, this pattern spine right here is their repackage of their first album. And then I also have their third mini, Wish, down there on the end. So for Gulcha, my bias is Y, and I really want to go back and get first couple minis and another single that they had. It's just not a huge priority for me right now, but I really do love the group, and for their next comeback, because I think they just released teasers yesterday. I'm planning on getting their new album whenever it comes out as well. Okay, so just tucked back here, actually, I just keep it here just because it fits perfectly, and for size purposes it works great. But I have a Ryobook Japanese. I think this is his first single, and so I just keep it right here just because it's huge and it fits perfectly. So that is snug back there. And then behind my Ace albums, I have one Stray Kids album. It's Clay Levanter, and it's the special edition. So Stray Kids have been a group that I've always enjoyed. I just haven't stanned them until recently. By staying, I mean getting their albums and start seriously collecting them. I don't think I'm going to be getting every version of every album that they've released, but you know, just some that I really enjoy, just some versions of the albums I really like. So for their next release, I'll be getting their newest album that's coming out. I've already pre-ordered the special edition, so that's exciting. So I'm ready to see them come back, and I'm ready to hear their new music and everything. It's super exciting. And my bias for Stray Kids is Minho. So moving on to the bottom shelf, I'm going to try to speed things along because I know I've been talking too much, and yeah, I don't want this video to be terribly long. But for the bottom shelf down here, I just mainly keep larger items. So over here on the left, I have 2 of my 3 photo card binders. This is my EXO, I guess you could say SM binder. I have some other SM groups in here and some soloists in here. And then this binder is just all of my other groups. It includes Wavy, Gulcha, NCT, and a couple other groups I'll be showing you here in a second. So that's just kind of like, you know, I have second old in here with other SM groups, and then I have a BTS binder, photo card binder that's just BTS, and then this is all other groups. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's how I store them. This is just a little Namjoon picture that I got from their 2020 winter package. I thought it was cute, so I just display it here. Back there, I just have 2 covers of Billboard magazine, BTS, so I have J-Hope there in the front, and then Taeyoung's version in the back. Now, this is just some more BTS stuff that's pretty large, and I just keep it down here just because it won't fit up there on my other BTS shelf. So I have their Memories of 2016, their 2020 Seasons Greetings, their Memories of 2018. This is a EXO, the Allegiant live version, CD version, as well as a giant photo book that is amazing. BTS's 2020 winter package in Helsinki, and then the army kit, most recent army kit. And then back here I just have some Taeyoung premium photos. I currently have 4. I'm still waiting for 2 to come in the mail. The most recent one being Taeyoung's version of Bang Bang Con, as well as the Mott 7 premium photo. So once those arrive, I should have all of Taeyoung's premium photos, so that's exciting. Okay, so now we're just moving on to my cube shelf. So up here I just have a TXT poster from their newest album, and then nestled back here in the corner I have a Hobie Pickett that I was lucky enough to get from one of my friends. So I just kind of display him back there because he fits perfectly. Up here I just have some jewelry and things, some personal items. But I have this letterboard that says Map of the Soul 7. I just kind of switch it out depending on, you know, what I'm feeling. And then I have this little Hobie fan-made photo card right here, as well as this really, really cool pop out from their 5th muster. So on the right, as you can see, I have a OT7 signed Dark and Wild album. This is my prized possession. I treasure it. It was pretty expensive, but worth it, I believe. So yes, I love it, and I look at it every day. Right here, I have Taeyoung's Speak Yourself little flag, as well as one of his binder PCs here in this little wallet. I think it looks really cute, so I just keep that on my shelf. Over here on the left are just some of my other groups that I collect, or at least follow. I have Victon, and they're one of the groups that I've fallen in love with recently. I really love Sungwoo. I followed him on EXO-1, and I was very, very sad when they disbanded. However, I am super excited for Victon and their recent success. Yeah, so I've decided to collect more of their albums. Obviously, it's, as you can see, I only have one right now. It's their third mini album, Identity. I have a continuous album on the way, and I pre-ordered 6 copies of their newest single, Mayday, just because I'm trying to get a Sungwoo signed album, so, from N-Wave. So we'll see whenever those will arrive. It'll probably be like Christmas time, knowing N-Wave. So in the back there, I just have a Byungchan little postcard from their album Identity, because he's my bias wrecker, and of course Sungwoo is my bias invictant. Over here I have TXT, The Dream Chapter Eternity. I've been meaning to get their other albums, their first and second minis. I just haven't gotten around to getting them yet, but I really did love their newest release, so I decided to pick up both versions of that. And then right here I just have a little Namjoon BTS cinema ticket that came from their ARMY membership kit. Behind that I have ONEUS. So ONEUS is a group that I really like as well. So I have their second mini Raise Us, their third mini Fly With Us, and their first single In Its Time. I'm wanting to go back and get first mini album Valkyrie, but that is just not a huge priority right now. On the left I have my Monsta X collection, and they're a group that I loved a lot when I first started getting into K-pop and discovering K-pop, and I still really do love the boys. But over time I've decided to just cut back on my collection because I was collecting every single version of their albums, and if you're a Monbebe, you know that they release a lot. So since I was already collecting all versions of BTS and EXO albums, I decided I needed to cut back on one group, and Monsta X just happened to be that group. But I still really do love their music. I still keep up with them. I just don't collect their physical albums anymore. Minhyuk's signed album, Are You There? I don't remember which version this is. I think it's version 4, I believe. But Minhyuk is my bias in the group, and so I'm excited and happy that I at least have one signed album from him. Down below I have their 5th mini album, The Code, Protocol Terminal, and the Decode version. This album I could not part with just because it was the era that I discovered them, and it's really near and dear to my heart, so I kept those albums. Below that I have their first album, Beautiful, and it was just, I love that album and I just couldn't get rid of it. Over here on the right, I'm gonna move this little J-Hope cinema ticket out of the way real quick. I have their second mini, Rush. This is the secret version. I really love that photo book. I decided to keep it. The next one is Monsta X, The Connect. And the reason why this is in plastic is because this one is signed by Juhan. It's really, really hard to see. He decided to sign it in silver, which would look great, but the pen he used was a dying one. So it's a very faded signature, but I am happy to have it since Juhan is my bias wrecker in Monsta X. And then over here on the very right, I have their second album, We Are Here, version 1. So yeah, that's all I have for Monsta X. Like I said, I don't collect them anymore, so I feel like this cube will stay the same. Just really quickly up in front, I just have a Namjoon and Hobie inclusion that I got in their winter package, as well as some Hobie BT21 socks. So I'll just move these really quickly out of the way. So behind that, I have Max from TVXQ. Chanmin, I have his first mini album, super exciting, both versions of Chocolate. Next I have Ryewook's first mini, The Little Prince, as well as one version of his second mini album, Drunk on Love. And then we move on to Chin's solo albums, April in a Flower and Dear My Dear, both versions. Like I mentioned before, Chin is my bias in EXO, so of course I have every single version of his solo releases. And then in the back there, I just have Ryewook's cover of Time Slip, Super Junior's 9th album, because he is my bias in Suju. Okay, and then down here at the very bottom of my cube shelf, I have my very small girl group collection. I'm hoping to get more girl group albums, but for now, these are all the ones I have. So for my girl group albums, I have Twice's Fancy You all the way in the back. Mamamoo's Go Go Baby album. And then Dreamcatcher, I really love them. They're probably my top girl group. So I have 3 albums from them, the Tree of Language, the L version, and then their special mini album, Rate of Dream, over there on the right. And then on the very, very end here, we have their 4th mini album, one of the versions. So I really do love Dreamcatcher. They're just very expensive to collect, and so, you know, it's only going to be something where if I see an album for a decent price, I'll get. Otherwise, you know, I can't spend $200 on an out-of-print album. So yeah, but that's all I have for my girl groups. I'm kind of happy with the amount of girl group albums I have, but like I said, I hope to expand on it someday soon. Okay, so finally we have reached the last cube of my album tour. So this isn't really any K-pop albums, but it's just, you know, extra merch, I guess, that I keep on display. So I have their BTS's BTS Cinema ticket pin over there, and then all of the notes that come in all their albums. Back there you can see Chemi's Winter Special Edition BT21 plushie, as well as the bag that Hobie loved to wear during the Love Yourself tour, so I just had to get it because I'm obsessed with Hobie. And I put some pins on there, as you can see. And then in the way back, I have Taeyoung's Mattel doll. I'd actually gotten it as a gift at Christmas, and so I decided to keep it and just keep it on display. Okay, so that was my entire K-pop album collection and my shelf tour. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!